Okay, good afternoon. Last case of the day is ZA 2010-3036, CUB-CU, environmental clearance number EMB 2010-3037-MND. Property is located at 3724 East Mission Road in Council District 1. The request is for conditional use permit to allow the sale and dispensing of beer and wine for off-site consumption in conjunction with the 24-hour convenient market, 7-Eleven, to allow the market to operate 24 hours in lieu of 7 a.m. to 11 p.m. For a commercial corner lot. Project site is located in M1-1 zone. Would the applicant's representative please come forward, state your name and address for the record? Staff had said something about potentially continuing the hearing?
Yes.
Okay. Could you state your name?
Pedro Carrillo with Urban Associates, and we represent 7-Eleven.
I'm sorry, last name?
Pedro Carrillo, C-A-R-R-I-L-L-O.
Okay.
And Erica Ramirez, also with Urban Associates.
Okay.
We represent 7-Eleven Inc. Today in regards to the application to establish a new convenience market at 3724 Mission Road. We just wanted to make certain that 7-Eleven is currently in a growth mode and is considering many new sites all over Southern California to establish new stores, specifically in areas that are not serviced by a convenience store. In speaking to various residents and organizations and employees of the area, we've identified a void in services in the immediate area surrounding the proposed site. Currently, there's no close location within this area to purchase a freshly made sandwich, fruit, or veggie snack for lunch during the day or medicine in the middle of the night. Because of the variety and vast array of products that 7-Eleven carries in the convenient 24-hour daily operations, establishing a new store in the neighborhood seems to be a natural enhancement of services to this community. In preparation for our application, we've canvassed the 1,000 square foot radius surrounding the proposed 7-Eleven site. That's resulted in the gathering of over 500 support cards from the surrounding residents and students from the Skills Center. We've reached out to the surrounding businesses and met with the workforce, the WorkSource, the Department of Parks and Rec, the LA Skills Center, the International Institute of Los Angeles, Aztec Rising, and the LA Chamber of Commerce. All organizations that we've stated did not have concerns of a proposed 7-Eleven store. Further, as a result of this outreach and our discussions of potential partnerships, have emerged a lot of new ideas. Some ideas were for a presentation of how to become a franchisee, notification of employment opportunities, how to be better linked with the community on program support, and educational presentations regarding various business topics. Our outreach has actually resulted in a very good, healthy discussion in job creation and economic development. In our continued outreach efforts, it's come to our attention that some constituents feel they've not had ample time to review and consider this case. Therefore, in order to accommodate the request of those constituents and allow for all members of the community to be fully engaged in the process of this case, we requested that this case be taken under advisement at this time. I wanted to make certain that you knew that we were working with Councilmember Ed Reyes' office and staff to make certain that we address all of the issues of concern before we come back to you for a final decision at this point. I'd like to request that.
So are you asking for me to postpone the hearing to another date, or for me to hear the case and then take it under advisement?
I think if you hear the case and take it under advisement, it might be a little more efficient for us.
Yeah, there's a lot of people here. So.
And
okay.
people that have come a long way. So I want to thank you for your time and consideration. I look forward to reporting more on this issue in the coming weeks.
And I'm sorry, did you say you went to the neighborhood council?
Yeah.
And they supported it?
Oh, not the neighborhood council, I beg your pardon.
You didn't go to the neighborhood council?
Can you speak to that?
In our outreach, we actually did not go to the neighborhood council. One of the reasons why we had decided to do that is at one point we were removed from their listserv, and so we interpreted that as communication wanting to be one way. We had made calls, and a lot of those calls were unreturned, and so therefore we didn't go to that case.
I'm sorry, your voice tapered off. You said you didn't go because of what?
We were removed from their mailing list at one point, so we weren't being noticed of when their meetings were held. And when we did try to make communication, we didn't receive phone calls back or emails back.
Okay.
Not to say that we're not willing to meet.
Exactly.
Again,
Okay.
I think we've used the time to make a better effort.
And how long are you suggesting it will
Between
take?
2 and 3 weeks.
Okay.
That's on our website.
So is there anything you want to say about the application? Since I'm holding the hearing at this point, why you're looking for 24 hours and the beer, you're selling beer and wine?
Absolutely. One of the biggest issues is the beer and wine.
We can't hear.
One of the biggest issues is the beer and wine portion of this application, and we're going to continue to work with the councilman's office to address those concerns. So at this time, I want to leave the application as is, and maybe use the time to take it under advisement to come back and maybe make an adjustment or amendment to that application.
Okay, and were you planning on purchasing a license or getting a new license?
Purchasing.
Okay, and then why the 24 hours of operation?
The model for all 7-Eleven franchises require the 24-hour CUP, and that's basically based on different sales models, and 7-Elevens rarely survive without a 24-hour CUP.
And what were your hours of operation that you were going to sell the alcohol? Beer and wine?
6:30 to 10:30.
6 a.m. to 10 p.m. And there were other concessions also in terms of no singles, no 3-packs, no advertising in the window, alcohol or otherwise.
Was that included in your application?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So who here would like to speak on this item? All right, we start in the front row, and 2 people can come up at a time. I'm going to start with the LAPD officer because he's been here for a bit, but someone else can come up as well. No cell phones, please. Turn them off.
You can repeat my name?
Is it officer? What's your rank?
Senior lead.
Senior lead. Okay. Officer
Austin Furno.
Okay.
I'm
And I
the,
have your letter.
oh, good, that's what I was going to say.
Yeah,
That's the letter that's
copies.
addressed to Mr. LeGrande?
Yeah.
Okay. And if you had the opportunity to review the letter that, okay, because I don't want to repeat the whole letter, but I'm here on behalf of the Los Angeles Police Department and Captain Anita Ortega, who is the commanding officer of Hollenbeck Division. Although we do support businesses, any new businesses in the community that are certainly beneficial to the community, we do not support the issuing of an ABC license for this business at this location.
You do not support a new LAPD license if they purchase one? Is that
ABC license.
any?
No,
any alcohol?
yeah, any alcohol at all, whether it be a new or a person-to-person.
Okay. And the reason for that?
Is we've already reached, in the letter it states that we've reached our capacity of 3 ABC licenses in that geographic area, and also because of crime in the area, close to the proximity to schools, a rehab center. Within the last year, we've had quite a bit of violent crime, including 1 murder within probably about 200 yards of that location. And we've already had issues with alcohol, intoxicated individuals within that part of the community around Mission and Selig. That would be it.
Okay, thank you very much. And have you met with the applicant? Did they meet with you, your office?
They've not met with me personally. I've met with representatives of 7-Eleven, but I know they have met with other members of, whether it be with, I think, my vice supervisor.
Thank you. Next speaker.
Good afternoon. My name is Margarita Amador, and I am the co-chair for the Hollenbeck Community Police Advisory Board. And we're just here to let you know that currently in Hollenbeck, we have 249 liquor licenses The position of the Community Police Advisory Board at Hollenbeck is that we do not support any new ABC licenses, and we also don't support any importation of any licenses into Hollenbeck. We want to maintain our number of 249 licenses or reduce it if possible, but we do not support any new application or again importation of any of the licenses into our division. Thank you.
Thank you.
Juanita Thomas,
I'm sorry, Juanita, last name?
D as in David, E, L, L, O, M as in Mary, E, S. I represent Sierra Club and I represent AARP for Healthy Communities. The inner city is being saturated by liquor license, and we don't feel it is a positive project in this particular location. We already have quite a few 7-Elevens, okay? And they have not really been open and honest with the community, okay? They have not told the community all the issues involved in this new 7-Eleven. It's taking of one business that's been there for 11 years, and it also is taking part of another business that they need the area, the floor space, to enlarge their plans for a 7-Eleven.
What's there right now?
A mom and pop store and a laundromat. Okay? And thank you very much.
Thank you.
My name is Peter Garcia, and I'm a resident of Lincoln Heights for about 3 years. And my concern is when they mention about convenience, there is already a 7-Eleven located on Main and I believe it's Daly Street. I don't see the convenience of enabling the community to become lazy to just access a 24-hour 7-Eleven when a CVS is also present on Broadway.
How far away is Main and Daly?
Main and Daly is less than half a mile from the location. And there is already, like you mentioned, mom and pop stores that are already established for the community, and it is across the street from Lincoln Park, which I believe that if they have further access to more alcohol in the area, it's not only going to litter the area, and it's going to impact the family-oriented park.
Are you opposed to the hours also, or just the alcohol?
Just the alcohol.
Okay. You can, I'm sorry.
Hello, my name is Jose Aguilar. I'm a member of the Lincoln Heights Neighborhood Council, Area 7. I want to state for the record that 7-Eleven did not consult or provide any notice of them coming to our meetings or even tell us what they were going to do. They did not come to our neighborhood council, which is a violation of the norms when it comes to zoning, when it comes to these types of licenses. Because they acted in bad faith, the Lincoln Heights Neighborhood Council is on the record as opposition to their 24 hours and also in opposition of their liquor licenses.
Did you submit a letter?
Right, the vote happened last week. Well, we're going to have to, as soon as our president signs it, I'll have it addressed to you. I have a member of the executive board here. I'll have Wada speak to that fact. I think he might have something in writing. But concerning the fact that they did not consult with the Lincoln Heights Neighborhood Council and they bypassed us, that's an act of bad faith. And I would like the zoning administrator to take that into some serious consideration. I also would like to understand that the reason we want them to consult with us is because a lot of the membership, including my own personal opinion, is that I am opposed to the importation of liquor licenses into the area. And we did not have the capability of asking them if this license was going to be imported. We don't know, okay? And that adds to the situation that's in, because we don't know, we're in direct conflict and opposition, and we're to the 24 hours and to the liquor license. Because like you said, our previous controversy was the issue of them purchasing the license within Hollenbeck versus importing licenses. I'm also a member of the Ball Heights Neighborhood Council. I'm the president there, and we had the same controversy there. Whether that we had a misrepresentation of facts that there were a controversy of importation of a license versus them actually providing a license within Hollenbeck, purchasing a license within Hollenbeck versus the importation thereof. It's a 7-Eleven corporation, not different store, different location. The thing is, we're having issues of them giving us a straight answer if they're importing licenses into Hollenbeck or if they're purchasing license into Hollenbeck. We're having a controversy on that front. And that's something that I believe that you should review 7-Eleven as a whole and say, look, you need to be upfront with the community. You need to let them know upfront if what you're planning to do is importing, or are you going to purchase the license within Hollenbeck? Because I can tell you, based on how they choose to answer that question, is how us as the neighborhood councils could better react to that question. And the fact is they haven't been upfront to that. And I don't appreciate not knowing where the licenses are coming from. I would like to have certainty of where the licenses are coming from. And this issue of bypassing neighborhood councils is a major conflict. And also the person that's going to be removed from that location, he didn't know that he was going to be removed from that location. And there are no plans to provide him any relocation funding for his store. He's developed 11 years of continual service in the community. He's developed goodwill in the community of 11 years. And he's got a family, and he's got 3 kids. And I think it's just as a business practice, kicking somebody out to the curb, kicking them to the curb with a family. And since he's a sole proprietor, there is no unemployment benefits if you're a sole proprietor. If you're kicked to the curb, you're kicked to the curb, and there's no unemployment benefits, there's nothing. So that is something that we could have mitigated on the neighborhood council level, provided some recommendations for, but we were never given the opportunity for that to even occur. So I would like for you to consider the fact that they bypassed us and they acted in bad faith, and they're creating bad will in the community. So that's all I got to say. Thanks.
Thank you. Next speaker.
Good afternoon, madam.
Name?
My name is Sean Novenbach,
Sean, can you spell your last name?
Novinbakht.
Okay.
I am the property owner of the site in which 7-Eleven has submitted an application to open a new convenience store. Opening this 7-Eleven is an opportunity to providing a much needed service in the area, as well as opportunity to provide jobs to the local residents and revitalize the look of the shopping center as well as the area. This is why we have been an active participant in the application by committing over $150,000 in the property improvements, including facade improvements that are influenced by Kraft's architecture described in the Lincoln Heights design overlay, as you can see on the rendering. I truly believe that the 7-Eleven store will be an added benefit to the surrounding neighborhood by providing a place for residents, employees, and commuters to meet their convenience needs. And we are looking forward to the opening of the store because of the benefit that the store, 7-Eleven store, is associated with, such as safe and clean mini food store with fresh and low-cost food that is frequently visited by police, employees, local residents, and last but not least, it will add added base tax for the city, which is much needed. I ask you for your approval of the application, and we make sure that there will not be a new license. This will be a license that we're planning to purchase through the same sensor area. In other words, if we are given a chance that we buy a license from the store that is not in the good standards, and we're purchasing it and just moving it a few blocks away, I think this will be added benefits, and it's a win-win situation for everybody.
So you're the property owner, or are you
Yes.
also going to be the franchisee of the 7-Eleven? or
No,
you-
ma'am, I'm the property owner.
Okay,
And
so who's operating it?
right now, nobody is operating it. We're planning.
No, I know, who's the proposed?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so they're-
Yes, ma'am. We're planning to,
So you as a property owner have agreed to put in 150,000?
50,000 to make the design and then to make it, as attractive as possible for the neighboring, neighbors and also for the commuters. When I drive by to that property, truly speaking, I do not find any store that I could stop by and I feel safe to go in and purchase something that like sandwiches or liquor, drinks.
Okay, I can't hear him when he's speaking, so please hold your comments to yourself. Thank you. Okay. Is that it?
And in reference to the addition of the store, the liquor store, and then the right now currently there is a mom and pop sugar shack, which they sell donut and coffee shops. We have reached an agreement, and also we have reached an agreement with the coin laundry owner to reduce its size because he said his business is not doing well, and we agreed to reduce the size of the coin laundry by 1,000 square feet. So all of these have been with complete mutual agreements. We just ask you to please consider the approval of the application, which should benefit everybody.
Okay.
Thank you, Madam.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, Madam Zoning Administrator. My name is Sean Misra, SHAWN-MISRA. I'm the area rep for 7-Eleven Corporation. My predecessor just left, so I just inherited the site and I've taken it over. But I have generally been assigned to the area around downtown LA. I've worked with the Boyle Heights Neighborhood Council in the past. I've worked with Downtown LA Neighborhood Council in the past, and several stores that are in the works as of now. It's been, I'm going to try to attempt to answer several questions, including yours, that has been put out. We've met in the past with these neighborhood councils, and we've tried to accommodate their requests several times over, not just once, twice, and it's on the record. So, and we have attempted to purchase the liquor licenses and trying to scale it back to beer and wine. So our attempt is not to, first of all, we're not a liquor store. Our beer and wine sales is only 10 to 12% of the entire sales. Consider us as a store, a mini grocery store. Basically, we provide convenience for every aspect of the purchase that you want to do at a one-stop shop, 24 hours a day. So, so I go back to saying that in East LA, we've met with the neighborhood, Boyle Heights Neighborhood Council several times over, trying to find the location of beer and wine where we can purchase it and transfer it over, scale it back. So that's our attempt. Now, what happened here in this neighborhood council, I'm not quite sure, but we are asking for you to take case under advisement so we can approach them and take care of it the right way. So that's not to say we don't want to work with the neighborhood council by all means. So secondly, just like most of the other retail facilities, we are moving towards fresh foods, hot foods. I would say fresh veggies, and so in our new store format, we will be selling pizza slices. We'll be selling barbecue wings of different sorts. Of course, we have our taquitos, hot dogs, chicken wings. So there'll be a plethora of fresh foods laid out up front. And we do a majority of our vault is just normal soft drinks, and milk and everything else. Let's say, as an example, 12 cooler doors, we'll have probably only 2 or 3 at best that would cater to just beer and wine, not singles, not malls, not anything else. So we just, we just provide convenience for a one-stop shop. Our attempt has always been and will be to purchase a liquor license, scale it down, work with the community, work with the PD, and we don't want to generally put a store within half a mile. So I'm actually taken aback a little bit. I don't believe that other location is within half a mile, and I stand corrected if I'm wrong. But we also look at the density of population. We, among other things, as we go to provide convenience, not just the distance factor. The store location will be fully, it'll be lighted. What we provide is a fishbowl effect. It's daylight in there. You walk it any time of the day or night, and it's got cameras inside out. We have the operators using a remote in their pockets that they can send out a silent alarm. It provides this fishbowl effect provides a lot of security for our customers. It's convenient for them. If there's a need for a medical emergency, we provide medicines during the night, anytime. So again, if there's any questions that you might have, I'm here to answer.
Okay. Thank you. You can have a seat. Next two speakers.
I'm going to translate for her.
Okay.
Buenas tardes.
Good afternoon.
Mi nombre es Liliana Martínez
My name is Liliana
y
Martinez.
vengo de la comunidad de Ramona Gardens.
I'm here representing the Ramona Gardens
Y
community.
la organización de Legacy LA que trabaja para proyectar mejores muchachos en la comunidad.
And representing the Legacy LA program that serves the youth of our community.
Las personas de 7-Eleven se reunieron con nosotros la semana pasada y nos explicaron el por qué querían traer la tienda cerca de nuestra comunidad. Y nos estamos de acuerdo en que venga un 7-Eleven a su comunidad.
7-Eleven came to our community and presented their plan, and we are here supporting the 7-Eleven application.
Porque en primer lugar la comunidad tiene una tecnología avanzada y segura para no vender a menores de edad.
They have a high-tech security system that allows them to have control and to prevent the sales of liquor licenses to minors.
Nuestra comunidad puede obtener trabajos ahí en la tienda.
Our community can obtain jobs at the store.
La comunidad piensa por qué no dar oportunidad a mejorar nuestra comunidad.
Our community believes in giving the opportunity to help better the community.
Porque no nomás nos traen alcohol, nos traen frutas, verduras,
Not only will they have liquor, but they'll have fresh fruits and vegetables.
y comida saludable para nuestros muchachos que caminan, que van a la escuela Lincoln, que cuántas mamás nos vamos al departamento de motores y vehículos a hacer cualquier buscar licencia, ID, nos podemos beneficiar de eso.
That we will benefit from the store because our kids who walk home from Lincoln High School, us who conduct business at the local DMV, will have the access to the store.
Si todo el tiempo pensamos negativo y no damos oportunidad de mostrar lo contrario,
If we always continue to think negative and not show the positive thinking,
no podemos quedarnos atrás y pensar que no va a funcionar eso.
we cannot stand back and believe that it's not going to work.
Creo que la diferencia en el crimen está en nosotros como padres de mostrar buen ejemplo y luchar por lo que queremos.
I believe that the crime is really can continue to maintain it at a low standard because of the parents. It's up to the parents who raise their children to continue to address that issue with crime.
Un 7-Eleven no es la diferencia del crimen, está en nosotros.
7-Eleven is not the reason for crime, it's up to us as parents.
Gracias.
Amen.
Good afternoon, Guadalupe with Councilmember Ed Reyes' office. In regards to this case, our office has as well been in communication with the police department of the area. We've also been assessing, the sensitive uses that are in the area. For example, it's located right across from a park. It's in close proximity to, there's also, for instance, Socorro Cry Help, which is a rehab center. And there's also an ARCA, which is a center that deals with services for the mentally ill or handicapped. And we also have Plaza de la Raza, which is program services at the park for kids and adults and families. These are some of the sensitive uses that are in close proximity, as well as obviously there's residents behind the corridor. And there's several reasons that we are actually opposed to the request. We are not opposed to the 24 hours, but we are opposed to the beer and wine request. Our office has, again, engaged the LAPD, which they here today have as well shared their concern with approving the beer and wine, whether it's an existing license from the census tract that's purchased or a new one. There's opposition irrespective of the license being purchased because it's a problem with the location. Location is not appropriate for, again, the sensitive uses that surround them. There's a crime issue that, as LAPD stated, element, and there's been actually some shootings at the park as of in the summer, and a murder. And so those are very key elements that make our office take this position of opposition. You've heard here today, for the most part, people are in opposition. And again, we ask that we oppose the beer and wine request. And again, we have no concerns in regards to the 24-hour. And I believe one of the neighborhood council folks as well stated that they also took a position last week, and they are in opposition. And so again, for all those reasons, we would like the beer and wine request to be opposed. We understand that the applicant is asking to take the case under advisement for 2 weeks, and we're not opposed to that, if that's something that you do consider. But again, this is our position.
Okay, thank you. Were there any other speakers?
Yeah. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
This is a board taxi. Or little fly, or near the Yeah, first, let me tell you who I am first. I'm so grateful for everybody who's supporting me or paying me or whatever. We are here not because we want to be here.
Your name is Ben?
Ben Lee, yes. And we currently located at 3724, which is the size of the proposed 7-Eleven. And we are sleepless lately because we were told by different groups of people, keep it low profile, don't speak up because the landlord will throw you out there if you speak too much.
Okay, I'm sorry, you're not the potential franchisee, you're
No,
the
I'm not.
store operator, the current store.
So a current donut shop owner, yeah.
It's a donut.
But they already called me the former donut shop, sounds like vacant, it's not vacant, I'm still selling donut. Let me clarify something. Agreed is a 2,000 square foot, which is only 1,000, the place, the tiny shop. And the actual size are only 960 feet. But in the list always say 1,000, that's okay, round off. And we are here because a lot of friends from the community
told us, we support you, you should show up, say whatever you want to say. And right now, 3 groups or 4 groups decide on our fate. The first one, the zone administrator, can grant the permit to 7-Eleven, they move in there, we will be forced our business. The second group is the good ones, the community people around there supporting us. If they don't like us, we have to close our store. They don't come to our store. The third group, which the most important one too, whether you like or not, the bad guys, which we call like gang, mob. If they don't like leave me alone, they could kill me or like burn the place down like 25 years ago they did. They chased the Chinese landlord out of the area. When the Chinese landlord, well, he acted like, I'm the landlord. I could do whatever I like. So he got in the place. One day, he fired one crook from his parking lot, and I'm not sure he killed or not. People told me he paralyzed the guys from waist down, and they asked him to leave. He refused to leave. One night, they burned down the place, and he sold the property to the former landlord real cheap. And the former landlord sold it to Mr. Son November. He just came here a few minutes ago. And so I don't want to repeat because I could get along with them real well. I have been there 11 years. They all support me. I sell my donuts, my coffee at the bargain. Nobody sells it. A dozen of donuts, $5. 1 cup of coffee, like 16 ounce, only 90 cents. Yeah, we have some business, and people love us. And the fourth one, which the most important one too, my landlord. He can ask me to leave anytime because my lease expired 6 months ago. Right now it's like month to month. Yeah. So we are here and we got no choice. And whoever, if people want us to stay, we stay. If they don't want us to stay, then we leave. So, and this is my wife. She's so worried. She can't be with me.
Hello. My name is Yumei Xia. Yumei. I had 3 kids at home. I just want my kid, my donut shop. I just need a little bit money, enough for my family. My little boy only 1 year. And also I have one 83 years old mother-in-law at home. I cannot go out to work. Now most of the time my husband in the donut shop. And I have few hours only. And then all the donut shop is all my own. If I lose my donut shop, I lose everything. I lose my job. I have no money for my kids, for my family. That's too bad for me. We stay over there almost 11 years already. Everybody, the neighborhood, the customer loves me and my husband. So I don't want to lose my donut shop. Also, I hold the landlord. Mr. Song, don't kick me out. I just want my donut shop. I just need a job for my family, for my kids only. That's it. We did not ask for anything. We did not ask for anything. We just keep my stuff. The donut shop 11 years ago, we spent a lot of money to buy the business. Now, if you kick me out, I will lose everything. I will lose everything. It's too bad for me, for my family. And then they only held a big company, and they kill my small business, and they kill my neighborhood the business too. The 7-Eleven will get all the business from my neighborhood too. They kill all the business for the small business. That's not fair for the small business. So I hope the 7-Eleven don't keep me out. The landlord don't keep me out. I just want to keep my donut shop only. I just want my donut shop for my family, for my kids only. Thank you.
Tell them you're a veteran, bro. Tell them you're a veteran.
Also, I'm a veteran U.S. Navy. I served in 1988 to 1996 in the U.S. Navy. Thank you.
Next two speakers.
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Sue Choi, C-H-O-I. Chini Cho. My name is Chini Cho. We own the property on that labor.
On which property?
Just cross the street.
Across the street.
37.
29 Mission.
Just cross.
3729 Mission. Okay.
Yeah.
And what
And
kind of property
personally-
is that?
And residential?
Okay.
Residential and convenience store and taco stand.
Oh,
And personally, I don't really dislike the 7-Eleven. We don't have any objection to have a 7-Eleven there. Only the objection is ABC license. And let me tell you my story. I have a building in Koreatown. Across the street, exactly the same place, I had a mom and pop liquor store. And within 2 years, I had a 7 gunshot incident. And we worked so hard with the police station and we removed liquor store. And since that time, I own more than 10 years and we don't have that many gunshot problems. And only the objection is the location. That location is right next to the park. I don't like my tenant. And I have a close to 1,000 signature from that neighbor. We don't need an ABC license right there next to the park, and they want to show some drunk people to show their children they're staying in the park. So simply, I do not have any business with against the 7-Eleven. And according to the 7-Eleven person, their ABC liquor consuming was 10 to 15%. I don't understand why they have to have an ABC license right there. There is a school not far away from there, and park right next to it, and we don't support that.
thank you.
And do you need this?
Yes.
Yes, he says it's a win-win project. I don't agree with that. In order to value up
You can have
his
this.
property, he's a shaking donut shop. He doesn't extend the lease, and he's a survivorship, and put the 7-Eleven, and then trying to raise the value up. And he's also choking my neck. My property will be down, value will be down. Also, we don't need another convenience store. Just like I said, just across the street, there is convenience store and taco stand.
Does the convenience store sell alcohol?
Yes, beer and wine. Business hour is 8:30 to 8:30. And then they have a milk, bread, eggs, like a sandwich, cold sandwich. They also do have a little snacks. So we don't need another convenience store. Also, beer and wine, we do have a beer and wine. I also had run the convenience store 11 years over there, and owned the property 15 years. It's very hard. I understand that donut shop lady, we've been there together. So I don't know why they're shaking up the other neighbors' survivorship. So I oppose the 7-Elevens there.
Okay, thank you. Next two speakers.
And also you were laughing. Really ugly. When she was speaking, you were laughing.
Your name, please?
My name is Hugo Pacheco, and I'm a resident and stakeholder.
How do you spell your first name?
H-U-G-O,
H-U-G-O.
middle initial L.
Oh, okay, Hugo
Pacheco.
Pacheco. Okay, sorry.
Okay, and I think I've talked about the other 7-Eleven, and this is the second 11 that's been worrying me. As I've stated before, I used to work for the largest brewer in the world, as well as the third largest brewer in the world. And my specialty was Hispanic marketing. Now, what I see here is a conspiracy between the landlord and the conspiracy with 7-Eleven. First of all, they never notified the current owner of that retail store, the donut shop, that he would have to be leaving. I'm fearful in the sense that I've been watching the expression of one of the landlords here, that he might retaliate against this poor individual. He had nothing to do with this. From the very beginning, I have been blaming 7-Eleven and will continue to blame 7-Eleven for what they've been doing. They don't seem to have the knowledge on how to approach our community and to be able to identify those places that really do need a convenience store. The other thing that really gets to me, I've seen the YouTubes on 7-Eleven where they state that they go into communities and they offer the franchisees or the franchise to people that are already there. They didn't do this in this case. They didn't do that in the case of Broadway and Eastlake. Something is failing majorly at 7-Eleven. And so I think if 7-Eleven really wants to penetrate this market, which is very lucrative for them, since they produce their own beer and wine now, they're going to have to be respectful. And also the landlords that think that they're going to take advantage of our community as well. They should think twice about what they're doing. Thank you.
Is there anyone else?
Zoning Administrator, my name is Rogelio Vidari, and I've served on the board for Cry Help, and approximately 25 years. I don't recall the exact date, but I signed a petition at one time that when they were trying to relocate to a better place, and that's a rehabilitation center, just a little ways from where the present donut shop is at. These are people that have addictions that are fighting to overcome some of these addictions. It's a good, honest place. I was one of the few people that signed the petition to bring these people, to allow these people to come into our community, since we have problems in our community. And that's the reason I signed for it. And I've served on their board once, and at this time, I don't know if I still belong to it or not. I also am the president of the United Seniors of Lincoln Park, which is a group of senior citizens. And I'll tell you, after our meetings, sometimes I go back there and have my ice cream at his parlor. That is the donut shop. It's a place where you can sit down, and believe me, I've never seen anything out of place. There's a lot of youth that go there. There's a lot of people, but never have I seen anything threatening to a senior citizen, you might say. You can park and have your ice cream in peace. Now, that's the only place nearby where you can do that. The other thing is, all of the other things that were stated, you know, there being a Plaza de la Raza, the Cry Help, and of course, I don't think it's been mentioned that there's an off-site campus also at Roosevelt High School. And of course, the path to Lincoln Park from Ramona Gardens runs very close to that as well. All of these are areas where they're going to have a lot of youth. The youth activities from high school, middle school to elementary school, there's many of those activities going on at that park, almost at all hours of the day. So I just want you to consider all these things, and I want to stand as being opposed to the 7-Eleven, also considering the fact that the present tenants are not being treated properly.
Okay, thank you. Next speaker.
I will be translating.
Buenas tardes. Mi nombre es María de Lourdes Quiñones.
Good afternoon. My name is Maria de Lourdes Quiñones.
Y soy residente de Lincoln Heights por 18 años.
I've been a resident of Lincoln Heights for 18 years.
Y yo vengo en nombre de toda mi familia y de todos mis vecinos de la calle Parkside.
And I come on behalf of all my family and all of my fellow residents of the street Parkside.
Nosotros venimos a apoyar a la familia de Donut Shop.
We come to on behalf also of the family of the donut shop owners.
Nosotros no queremos 7-Eleven ahí.
We do not want a 7-Eleven at that location.
Por favor, escuchen nuestra voz.
Please listen to our voice.
Porque tenemos muchos jóvenes alrededor que se perjudicarían con el alcohol y el cigarro.
Because we have a lot of youth around that area, and it would be detrimental to our youth to have a place that sells tobacco and alcohol.
Y nosotros siempre hemos apoyado a esa familia porque es muy trabajadora, muy hermosa y además tan muy barata.
We have always supported the Lee family because they are hardworking individuals. They're wonderful people and they sell everything cheap too.
Por favor, no queremos 7-Eleven. Hay muchos alrededor.
Please, we do not want another 7-Eleven. There are enough 7-Elevens in the vicinity.
Muchas gracias.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Daniel Betts.
Oh, just pull the microphone over. Thanks.
My name is Daniel Betts, B-E-T-T-S. I've been living in Lincoln Heights for 50 years, and I have seen a lot of changes in Lincoln Heights. And we have already 2 7-Elevens right here in Lincoln Heights, and we don't want that one because Mr. Ben and his wife are very hard workers. They have children, and we don't believe that he should be kicked out just like that. The man has never told anything that he was going to bring the 7-Eleven in here. And I'm supporting Mr. Ben Liu right here, Ben Lee. And we don't want this 7-Eleven because it's like a triangle. You see that? 7-Eleven already on Main Street. And then there's one on Broadway. Now they want to build one at this place right here. And her coffee and everything is very good. And we don't want that.
Perfect.
Thank you very much. Oh, and another thing. I've already seen 2 murders there. The first time that they built a building right there, we had a conflict because they didn't want that building there. So the owner of that previous place right there murdered one man in Lincoln Park. So we don't want that conflict anymore. If we build a 7-Eleven there, we don't want the community to go against it or start any kind of riots because of this 7-Eleven. So a lot of people don't want it. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon. My name is Ted Juarez. I'm the Area 3 representative of Lincoln Heights. That's my area that I represent. Lincoln Park, DMV, up to Broadway to the Lincoln High School. And I am in total opposition of the 7-Eleven. When 7-Eleven first came to our neighborhood council, I invited them to
But they didn't go to the neighborhood. You mean for another
well, they came, yeah, and then they did the proposal that they wanted to build 7-Eleven at this site. That's my area. I represent that area. I also sit on the Park Advisory Board in Lincoln Park. You know, we're totally against it. Even the park, even Parks and Recs are totally against it. I don't know where they got their outreach because I told them from the get-go that you guys do your outreach. Because I've been living in the community for over 30 years. Parkside, you know, Lincoln Park Avenue, Key Street. I know all my constituents because they voted for me for the neighborhood council. I represent that area. I represent those people. And I asked them, did you guys do your outreach? And they said, no. And I go, well, I want you to come and meet these people. So we set up a meeting for them to meet at the donut shop. I walked them into the park and started introducing them to people there. I go, do you know these people? I go, these people come every day, they play their dominoes, they play their cards. I go, they're in opposition of the center from the get-go. We don't need more violence, more liquor. As it is, people hang out there. There's a motel across the street with all undesirables go there. You know, there's a big crime area. You know, I deal with that because they come to me. I'm the representative of Ted. What can you do? How can you help us? How can you help us get rid of some of the crime? And I do my best, man. I do my very best. And I work hard for what I do. And that's why I ask these people, you guys didn't do your outreach. You guys didn't go to the community and talk to the residents if they wanted this. And that is sad because they lied from the get-go. I even asked them, where'd you get your liquor license? Are you getting it from a nuisance license from within the Hollenbeck area, or are you going outside of the district, you know, getting it somewhere else and bringing it in? We have enough liquor licenses in Lincoln Heights. I know the lease for over 11 years. You know, they knew my grandmother real good. They always took care of her. They used to send her a donut, you know, a jelly donut every day. And God rest her soul, she passed away this last year. These people are a pillar to the community. You know, these people help us out, even the Kims. Whenever there's a death in the area, these people go out of their way and help us. They let us water to have car washing for these families that cannot meet their needs to bury their loved ones. And these people go along and they help us. I don't think 7-Eleven would do that for us. And that's why I'm in total opposition of this liquor license.
Okay, thank you.
Okay? Thank you, ma'am.
Is there any other speakers? Yes.
All right.
Hi, my name is Frank Water from the ADA. I am a board member and treasurer of the Lincoln Heights Neighborhood Council.
Can you speak a little closer to the microphone?
My name is Frank Water. I'm the Lincoln Heights Neighborhood Council. I'm treasurer. I'm the board member and also the co-chair with the land use. To clarify the opinion that they were removed from a public listserv, which is incorrect. They got my personal email on that listserv, and it's a public, so therefore, as any public agency, they can find the information. So being removed is incorrect. We also have a website that they also could go to and get the information. We had limited time in terms of being able to get the committee, the land use committee, to meet. It was also publicly Brown acted meeting, committee meeting, and they could approach. They also they have my email. They know I'm the co-chair. They had previous 7-Eleven that's on East Lake and North Broadway. Ms. Ramirez has my email from that location. I don't know if she has my phone number, but she has my email. So being able to get in touch with us is no problem. So I would vehemently deny that we cut them out and that they had no access. Number two, since we were on a timeline that today's hearing, the neighborhood council went forward with the recommendation from the committee, and then full board meeting on last Thursday. I have a copy of the agenda. We can't get the minutes out this quick because it's only last Thursday. But the recommendation from the committee, the land use committee, is that we would deny the whole variance. The 24 hours.
It's not a variance.
Okay, the conditional use.
Permit, yeah.
Yeah, the CUB on the two aspects, the alcohol and also the 24-hour operation.
And why the hours? Why are you opposed to the hours?
Because of the extent. I think you're going to extend the hours. The normal hours are to what, 11 o'clock or so?
Yeah, 7 a.m. to 11 p.m.
All right. Well, I think most of the operation, there's two stores down this, there's a store across the street from this location. I think they close earlier than that. I think they said 8:30, 8:30 or something. So I was also on the first 7-Eleven, on the one on Main Street and on Daly Street. I've been on all three. I've been on all three 7-Elevens in terms of one input or another, so I can give you some history. Why we would not oppose anything, we would oppose anything goes beyond the 11. We usually want the 10 o'clock cutoff, but at this point, we denied it because there was just too much crime, the location, and the sensitive uses around the area. But basically, the board denied the CUB for this location last Thursday. As it wasn't unanimous, I think there was 2 people, but basically 2 out of 14 votes. So basically, we opposed the whole CUB. I'm better at answering questions. But that's basically it. So I mean, I've been on the input on all 3.
Thank you.
And it is the third one. But then, I don't know if you call it a half-mile radius, but they keep it so that they don't overlap, they just basically attach each other, abut each other. So. And I'm very upset that she's telling me I cut her off public use. We're neighborhood council, we're Brown acted, she can find out.
Thank you.
He asked me to translate him.
I'm sorry?
He can't speak English.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Got you, translate, yes. Name?
My name is Yun. Last name Ki. First name Hyung-sun. K-I-N-H-Y-U-N-G-S-U-N. 나는 마켓을 거기서 9년 동안 하고 있는 김영선입니다.
I am operating that small market for 9 years.
Across the street?
Yes.
Okay.
We open from 8:30 to 8:30 p.m. every day. And our market is selling bread and cold sandwich and soda, flour, milk, and beer. Oh, we sell almost everything the 7-Eleven would sell. I believe if 7-Eleven sells liquor until later time, and he believes it's going to help the serious crime in that area. And he believes in that all the neighborhood, they don't need this new 7-Eleven on that right location. Thank you.
Thank you.
Here's the agenda.
Hi, my name is Karina Andrade, and I am an employee on Selig at a local business.
I'm sorry, how do you spell your last name?
A-N-D-R-A-D-E. And like you mentioned, I am an employee on that street, and I do almost daily go to this donut shop to get my coffee in the morning. And I've never been concerned or afraid that drunks are going to be there, because they have no access to alcohol at the donut shop. I have been a resident of Lincoln Heights in the past. About 3 years ago, I lived very close to this location, and I think that it would be detrimental and it would just increase crime, not only to have liquor, but to have the place open 24 hours. It would become a hangout for people that have nothing to do at night. And we don't want that near a park or near our other businesses. So I oppose having 7-Eleven there. Thank you.
Are these the last 3 speakers?
Yes. Hello.
Hi.
My name is Lucia Alvarado.
Lucy?
Lucia, L-U-C-I-A.
Oh, hi.
Alvarado.
How do you spell your last name?
A-L-V-A-R-A-D-O.
Oh.
I've been a resident in the community for over 60 years, and also knowing both the Kings for many a year. And I go to the laundry there and stop with the coffee, and sometimes, you know, he even gives me some donuts to give away to the people in the neighborhood that may be hungry. And I think, and the people that sign petitions that I collect, that they shouldn't have a 7-Eleven at all in that area, because it could attract many, many bad elements, especially bad men and women that will hurt children. Because they'll be open 24/7 and selling alcohol, and there will be a lot of traffic and a lot of violence. So we do not want that. And I'm speaking for the children, seniors, all of our neighbors. Thank you.
My name is Maria Ramirez. I've been coming to the donut shop for going on 5 years now. And I see it as a very good location for the children that come out of school. and they all stop there to have their donuts and they buy their sodas and they're on their way. But I've seen enough 7-Elevens that you see all these panhandlers right there. I even pass them up, just not to stop and just see them there. But I am opposed against the 7-Eleven. It's just, oh God, just the lighting. I've lived by one before, and it's 24 hours. You hear them all night, especially the one right there on Sunset and Alvarado. It is bad. So I just oppose the 7-Eleven. It's not good for the neighborhood.
Good afternoon. My name is John Menchaca. That's Menchaca. First name J-O-H-N. I am the president of the East Los Angeles Remarkable Citizens Association, the acronym ELARCA. We're actually the building that's right next door to this proposed 7-Eleven that it's being proposed. You know, I'm representing the 150 families and clients that come to our center, which is a center which provides programs to persons with developmental disabilities. Those disabilities range from autism, cerebral palsy, mental retardation, spina bifida. Talk about a sensitive site. Nothing gets more sensitive than ELARCA. You know, we've unfortunately, the way the setup is on CLEC, it's almost as a cul-de-sac. You have two non-for-profits which were included. The International Institute is right next to ELARCA, and then we have the site there with LA Unified School District. All those three sites, in addition to the park, they're very sensitive sites. But if you're talking sensitive, nothing gets more sensitive than this organization here. We provide service to not just Lincoln Heights, to all the Northeast, the East Side, Southeast communities, South Central communities, and the West Side. We have, our students and clients have a disability. We've had problems in the past with crime there. Matter of fact, one of those murders that took place that folks had mentioned and the officer mentioned, this individual that was murdered was jumping over those walls there, jumped into one of our programs. He must have been on drugs and alcohol. He ended up there in the corner, and he was stabbed and killed there on that site that this site is being proposed to. In addition to that, I'd like to add, you know, I grew up in the neighborhood. I grew up in Lincoln Heights. I moved into Lincoln Heights in 1974. I am a product of the neighborhood at Lincoln Heights, and let me tell you, the first 7-Eleven that was put there, there was a gas station that was there prior to that. I used to, as a kid, I went and cut the grass there for the owner of that site that was there. We never had any problems with crime. I grew up two blocks away from that first 7-Eleven. As soon as that 7-Eleven came in, we had crime. We had, I mean, if you know, in Lincoln Heights, there's just sites that are pockets that you understand where we do not need more liquor. Again, for the record, I'm not opposed to any positive business coming into Lincoln Heights. We need it, we sure do. But we don't need another site that provides liquor and it's open 24 hours. I'm gonna go on to the second site on East Lake and Broadway. Back in the early 80s, you know, we played football up in Lincoln High School. There was a team called the East Lake Boys. They were just a football team. They eventually became a gang called the East Lake Boys. They're still there. As I understand, there's been petitions to get an alcohol license there, or I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, maybe they already have it. We do not need more liquor in those sites. Now, coming to Selig and Mission Road, it would be devastating, not just to the communities, but also to those small mom and pop stores that they're going to put out of business. But think about how our folks with developmental disabilities. We have enough problems there. We don't need any more. Thank you.
And that's going to conclude the public comment portion of the hearing. Is there anything you want to add at this time, or do you want to?
Madam Zoning Administrator, we just wanted to make sure that you understood that we'd like to, we'll respond in writing to a lot of the issues mentioned here today. We understand that there are a myriad of issues. It's, Lincoln Heights, I'm a Boyle Heights boy myself, and I understand the problems that come with some of these developments. What we just like to reiterate is that we'd like the time to try to mitigate some of the issues and work more closely with the council member's office to try to have a result.
Okay. Okay. And how long? You said 2 to 3 weeks.
As many weeks as you'll advise, as you'll allow. Again, if you have 4, great.
But it's up to you. 4 weeks.
Thank you.
Okay. So I just have a couple of comments for you and for the people here. So what's before me, so everyone understands, is the license for beer and wine, to sell beer and wine, and then the hours of operation. So they're allowed, any business is allowed to be in there, a commercial business, from 7 a.m. to 11 p.m. So they're asking for 24 hours of operation, 24 hours daily. What happens between the property owner and the donut shop is between the property owner and the business operator. It's not a decision that I have anything to do with it as far as the planning department. It's just not, they can, terminate a lease, and it's nothing that I can stop from happening. I'm not inclined to approve the alcohol license. It's very hard to imagine that you're going to come up with anything that's going to change my mind on that. But I will take the hours of operation under consideration and allow you the time you need to work with the community. So just let me know, email me if there's anything that you want to submit for the record, or let me know whether you're ready to have the advisement period waived. And if you want to receive a copy of the letter of decision, just sign up on the sheet up here. Thank you. Oh. So ZA 2010-3036-CV-CU is under advisement for at least 4 weeks for the applicant to meet with the community. Thank you.
Thank you very much.